Nuclear winter is a term used to describe a hypothetical global climate condition that is predicted to be a possible outcome of a large-scale nuclear war. It is thought that in the event of such a war, large amounts of soot and smoke will be thrust into the stratosphere, blocking out sunlight and causing a substantial drop in temperature. Now, contrary to popular belief, this is not such a far-fetched idea. Why? Well, let's look at it like this. If a nuclear war was to occur, then the prime targets would be cities and other areas with high populations, right? Now, a single nuclear warhead has the power to vaporize a city into tiny specks of dust, and that dust has to go somewhere. That dust would most likely be carried by the mid-altitude west to east winds, forming a uniform belt of particles encircling the northern hemisphere from 30 degrees to 60 degrees latitude. The main targets of most nuclear war scenarios are located almost exclusively in these latitudes. However, this theory is also applicable for the southern hemisphere. The dust clouds would then block out much of the sun's light, causing surface temperatures to drop drastically. These dust clouds will also persist in the stratosphere for quite some time and may stay there for months, years, or even decades. Okay, scared yet? Well, it isn't over yet, so quit your moaning. Still don't think this could happen? Okay. Well, here's some examples. When Mount Tambora in Indonesia erupted in April 1815, it spewed copious amounts of volcanic ash and soot into the stratosphere. This massive thick cloud of ash and soot was carried by the wind over to America, Canada, and northern Europe, where in May 1816, over a year after the eruption, it caused the temperatures to drop so much that late spring frost killed almost all crops that had been planted earlier in the spring. Then, in early June, a foot of snow was observed in eastern Canada and New England, with consequent additional loss of crops, as most summer-growing plants have cell walls which rupture in a mild frost, much less of snowstorm. This resulted in widespread localized famines and further deaths from disease caused by the famines. In July and August, lake and river ice was observed as far south as Pennsylvania. Rapid, dramatic temperature swings were common, with temperatures sometimes reverting from normal to above normal summer temperatures, as high as 35 degrees Celsius, to near freezing within hours. Even though farmers south of New England did succeed in bringing some crops to maturity, maize and other grain prices rose dramatically. For example, oats rose from 12 cents a bushel the previous year to 92 cents a bushel. Okay, panicking yet? Well, just hang in there for just a little bit longer, as I'm not finished. Now that we have looked at the effects of a nuclear winter, let's take a step back and see whether or not it is likely to occur in the near future. Considering that there are an estimated 20,000